Hi friends, let me just check if everything is working as expected. Just give me a minute or so. Let me just check if the audio is good. I've been answering a few questions on the chat window in the last few minutes. Just give me a sec. Let me see. Yeah, I can hear myself. I don't see any major issues. The video quality is also good. So yeah, I don't see anything major and blocking here. Okay, sounds good. So, okay. Again, as always, I come a few minutes early because I just wanted to check if everything is working properly before the live itself starts. So I'll try to answer a few questions before the live session itself starts. We'll probably start it at 7:02 or 7:03, right? So we have 5-6 minutes. Any questions, just shoot them in the chat window. I've already answered a few questions because I came in a little early. I've typed in detailed text answers to some of these questions, and my team also would answer some of these, whatever I could not while I'm talking and speaking. Sounds good? Okay. So discrete maths, very interesting topic. Or both discrete and engineering mathematics. It's super easy to score. Again, the mathematics in GATE, I would rate it as easy. So somebody is asking about CN. So we have uploaded up to application layer, right? All the application layer protocols also. I think some of them are already uploaded by evening. So there is only one topic that is left out, which is network security, because network security and cryptography, right? That's a huge topic because that's typically a semester length subject. So I'm just quickly shrinking it because I don't want to teach network security for 20 hours. So because the weightage in computer networks is also small, we are just looking at all the previous questions. I should upload it by tomorrow. So you'll be done with that, right? So only network security is left out. And again, the topic, the mathematics behind network security and cryptography is humongous. But you don't need, again, we looked at all the last 10 years or 15 years worth of GATE questions. You don't require too many of them. You require basic understanding of modular arithmetic. You require basic understanding of RSA, Diffie-Hellman, etc. So we should upload it by tomorrow. So don't worry about it, except that everything is already up. Or I think some application layer protocols are being uploaded right now. So I checked a while ago before I came to this live. I think a couple of them are uploaded. Rest of them will be uploaded by the evening. Sounds good. Okay. Somebody says, okay, so I've read technical subjects, now doing math along revision. So what strategy should I follow? Again, technical subjects, as important as they are, maths is the most scoring, to be honest with you. Again, remember, most of your aptitude is also mathematics. It's a high school level mathematics, right? Most of aptitude is either high school level mathematics or some basic combinatorics, basic probability, etc. Right? So if you think of mathematics, it's not just discrete mathematics and engineering mathematics. Most of aptitude is also mathematics. So discrete and engineering mathematics itself has roughly like 15 marks. And if you count mathematics that you get in aptitude also, that's close to what? That's close to 7-8 marks. So that's almost like 23 marks that you can easily score. And that's a humongous, that's almost like, that's 23%, approximately 23% of the weightage. And not just for computer science, for other departments also, mathematics is the most weighted subject because mathematics is the foundation of most of computing, right? So to be honest with you, my suggestion there is revise your mathematics. Again, solve as many problems as possible. The thing that many people make a mistake with math is people go through theory, formulae, theorems, proofs, etc. They don't solve problems. That's where you'll mess it up. And again, to be honest with you, GATE questions are on the easier side, right? Again, I'll give you a simple example. If you take calculus problems, look at IIT JEE problems versus GATE problems. I would rate GATE problems as significantly easier than IIT JEE mains, right? Because IIT JEE has some really good questions. The GATE level questions, especially for calculus, are certainly weak. The same is true across the board, right? The challenge with GATE is the massiveness of the syllabus, not the hardness of problems. And to do that, of course, I'm glad that you're revising the technical subjects, but also solve as many math problems as possible, right? So somebody says combinatorics seems difficult. That's very common. Again, combinatorics, you'll get problems both in discrete mathematics and engineering mathematics and also in aptitude. So the best way to solve combinatorics problems is to bucket. I also wrote this in the text reply, right? Try to bucket it into one of the topics. If you look at our course videos, the way we have designed the course videos is we take up a topic. For example, if you have circular, if you have to count circular stuff, right? Try to bucket the question. Again, most of mathematics for GATE, I won't generalize it to most math, but most of GATE mathematics is, here is a problem. you map it into a technique or a trick or a previous problem that you have solved. That's why when we discussed, especially combinatorics, when I discussed combinatorics in the course videos, I ensured that we are discussing various types of problems. I did not teach any theory. I actually went with problem after problem after problem after problem after problem, right? So the advantage, again, that's how I learned combinatorics myself. That's how I enjoy solving combinatorics problems. Again, given any problem, try to map it into one of the forms that you know. So when you write discrete mathematics notes, try to say, okay, within combinatorics, what are all the types of problems? Okay, just write it down. Again, if you go through our course videos, you'll get it immediately in that format. Once you get that, given any question, try to map it into that. Same, this is true for most of mathematics in GATE. Because in GATE, it's all about given a problem, map it to another problem that you know of, or map it to a formula, map it to a theorem, or map it to a technique that you know of, and just solve it. They're not hard. That's why I'm calling them easier, right? So how to improve accuracy? Okay, I mentioned this multiple times, right? Whenever you make a silly mistake, open a notes, write down that mistake. And every time when you're doing your revision of all the theory, also revise your silly mistakes that you've done. That'll put it in your mind, deep within your mind, that you should not do this mistake in the actual exam. That's a strategy that I have employed personally, and it has worked phenomenally for me. Somebody's talking about last 82 days. I'll come there. Just wait, I'll come there. Okay. So somebody says undecidability TOC. Again, we have covered, I think I did a session for TOC also just like this. Undecidability is the hardest topic in TOC, but it's not that hard also. At least, I mean, because I did all the videos, I saw a lot of previous year problems from undecidability. It's a little tricky and confusing. I completely agree with that. I completely agree that undecidability is one of the trickiest concepts in TOC. Even today, it's very common that I fall into a trap, even after knowing this concept for over a decade. Right? It's very common to make silly mistakes there. But when I created the course videos and the problems that we solved as part of the course videos, I thought most of the students got around that confusion because I spent a lot of time on undecidability. Right? I think that's one of the topics that I took it up as a challenge because it's one of the topics that I really love in theory of computation and whole of computer science, but I know is very confusing. So, I mean, that's the best we have. So I limit this discussion mostly to discrete and engineering mathematics. I'll avoid discussing on other topics. We'll do live sessions for other topics also. And you might already find for some of the topics that you folks are asking, we have already done live sessions covering each subject in detail, right? So you can go there. So somebody says, how many questions should we practice? My suggestion is start going from 2019 back. At least do 10 years, at least do 10 years worth of questions. Again, some years, like I think 2014, 2015, there are 3 sets of question papers. So try to do more and more of that. That's what I would strongly recommend. Somebody is saying you're facing problems while watching videos. Just call us on the phone number that you have on the website. We will respond to you and fix your problem as fast as possible. Losing motivation, I'm coming there. I do understand that. That's a very, very common problem. Some of the students have called us about it, and I'll try to answer that. That's one of the topics that I wanted to cover. So let's get started here. Let me start. Okay. So I've already shared the document with you folks. So if you go under this video, if you just go under this video, you'll see a document where you can see the whole distribution. But right now, let me just talk about 2 things. First and foremost, please don't think of mathematics as a secondary subject. Please don't make that mistake. Because simply discrete and engineering mathematics is roughly about 15 marks on an average. I'll show you that analysis that we have done. Topic wise, subtopic wise also we have done. 15 marks, you can out of 15, I think it's very easy to get 13 marks. 1 or 2 questions can be tricky either in propositional logic, or it could be especially with English to propositional logic type of translations, etc. Even in the course videos, that's why we took a lot of English cases. And I understand, I'm sorry, as a non-native English speaker, because our mother tongues are not English, it's very common to fall into the trap. I've seen people whose mother tongue is English who fall into the trap while converting from English to logic, right? So we've covered lots of cases in the course videos, but more importantly, you might get 1 or 2 tricky questions. Maybe 2 to 3 marks at most will be tricky in mathematics. So it's extremely simple. If you go through all the core foundational stuff, if you practice slightly decently, you can easily get 12 to 13 marks. I'll not say scoring 15 out of 15 is hard unless the paper is easy, right? So it should be very easy to score these marks. So math is the core of whole of computer science. That's why there is so much of weightage given to it. See, look at the weightage that is given to mathematics. It's almost equivalent to, I think, C data structures algorithms. See, again, C data structures algorithms are super duper important. The weightage given to C data structures algorithms is the same weightage given to mathematics. That's how important mathematics is. I mean, pick up any subject of your interest. Pick up any subject. Again, I was doing some videos on cryptography, where we use modular arithmetic that we learn in group theory. Right? Again, of the presence of an inverse, all these concepts that we learn in group theory come up here. And again, when we learned about routing in computer networks, a topic that we covered recently, you learn about graph algorithms, right? We use actually graph theoretic algorithms that we learned in graph theory, in discrete mathematics, and algorithms, again in computer networks. So if you ask me, again, that's why most computer scientists were mathematicians at some point. Some of the greatest innovations are physicists, right? Because physicists are in general good mathematicians to start with, right? So please don't ignore mathematics. It is something that is important for GATE. It is important for life. Please don't ignore it. Even after you go to your graduate school, even after you go to a company, I have used so much of discrete mathematics, engineering mathematics in my last 10 years of work X, right? That's one. Second, very, very important topic is please don't give up now. Some of you may have put in 6 months of effort. Some of you have put in 1.5 years of effort. Some of you have put in 3 months of effort. You have literally under 3 months of run ahead of you. We have some of the students have called us. They said we are getting demotivated. What is the point? All the effort you put in till now goes down the drain if you give up now. See, as again, I believe in philosophy a lot. You do your job and leave everything else to the Almighty. Again, I'm an atheist. But this is a great philosophy of Karma Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, right? You do your best. Your job is not to expect the result. You put in the max effort. Things can go crazy. It's okay, right? I believe in philosophy while I don't believe in God, because philosophy helps us tackle hard situations in life, right? Be a Karma Yogi. Put in the effort. That's very, very important. Right now, don't get distracted. We have heard calls from some of our students who said, folks, we don't think I can work on this anymore. I'm getting exhausted. The work pressure is there. The college pressure is there. The exam pressure is there. I want to give up now. What is this? This is like Arjuna bowing in front of in the Kurukshetra war saying, I don't want to fight my family. Come on, bullshit. It's time for us to take a stand, say, I'm going to do my best. Whether I get a rank or not is secondary now. Don't go with that pressure. Most important thing right now is tell yourself, I am going to spend 4 to 6 hours every day, and preferably more if you can afford to do it. Put in your effort and leave the rest. This is I think the most important lesson from the philosophy of Karma Yoga in Gita. We all go through hard times. Like I've had times when I felt sick last week, right? I just left with just a few topics in computer networks, and I'm severely down. Okay. Then I say, okay, what is my job? My job is to go at it and finish it. We all get frustrated. We all hit a roadblock. It's common. The most brilliant of people in the world hit roadblocks. But what they do, which the non-brilliant people don't do, is they continue on the journey. Forget about everything. The last 80 to 85 days, just give in your best. Forget about the results. Okay. I mean, this is true. This is one of the greatest philosophies of India, right? So that's my strongest recommendation. Don't get demoralized. Let's run the next 3 months like a marathon. Okay. Forget about what is going to happen. Just tell yourself every day from this time to this time, maybe 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. or 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. or in the evening from 8 p.m. to 12 in the night, right? You tell yourself, this is the time I'm going to give to GATE. Whatever rank I get, I leave it to the Almighty. If you believe in God, leave it to Almighty. If you don't believe in God, leave it to randomness and chaos, right? Just let it go. Put in your effort, do your duty. That's my strongest recommendation here. If you get demoralized, you will be like the Arjuna who left the battlefield. This is not the time to leave the battlefield. It's a time to do your duty. If you fail, that's okay. There's always next year. But don't give up now, telling yourself that I'll prepare next year. That's like giving up, right? What if you give up now? What stops you from giving up next year? Okay, you will again give up. Life will throw roadblocks at you. Please don't give up. Please understand this. Again, this is the same philosophy I tell my employees. I tell my team, we all go through hard times, right? This is the core philosophy. Let's do our work, let's do our best and leave the rest. Okay. So let me transition to the screen now and let me show you discrete mathematics marks. Okay. Enough of the gyan. But again, this is important. The whole purpose of religion and philosophy, as far as I am concerned, is to help people during tough times. Okay, sounds good. So this is all, again, we have two sheets here. We have a high level overview and we have a topic level breakdown, right? So our team has done very thorough analysis and we've analyzed about 12 papers here, right? From 2019. I hope everybody can see this. I hope everybody can see this, right? So yeah. So we have, okay, let me look at the, okay, so let me go here. So, okay, so in discrete mathematics itself, so you have these 12 years of papers, right? So 2019 up to 2014, third set. Look at this, 2014 has 3 sets, 2015 has 2 sets, 2016 has 2 sets, 2017 has 2 sets, right? This is the mark-wise distribution. If you look at this, if you sum up all these topics, you roughly get about 15 marks. There is one random year where there was almost 20 marks. But in general, if you take the average all of it, it's about 14 to 15 marks. Right? Again, if you look at subject wise, we've also taken averages, right? Typically linear algebra is very, very scoring. It's very, very scoring. So is set theory and algebra. So set theory and algebra basically means all your group theory, all your algebraic structures, right? Again, this topic is slightly large as compared to linear algebra. Linear algebra is the most bang for your buck, right? With very few topics, you can score a lot of marks. And every year, every paper, you had 2 or 3 marks except 1 year here, right? And again, combinatorics, again, most of you were panicking about combinatorics, but the average marks that you get is not so high comparatively. Of course, there are years where you got 3 marks, right? But there are also years that you got 0 marks. That's very, very important. Probability, again, let's go topic by topic, right? In logic, most questions are simple except for the English to logic translation, logic to English translation. Those topics, again, my strong recommendation there is please go through the course videos where we have covered lots of examples, tons of examples, and we have tried to cover everything that has been there in the last 20 years of GATE questions. Similarly, set theory and algebra, the topic itself is large. There are lots of concepts, right? From your simple sets to groups, and I don't think rings we have in syllabus, right? To abelian groups, right? There are lots of topics here. But if you just know the basic concepts, these questions are fairly easy to score. Graph theory, this is a topic that you have both in algorithms, data structures, and this. And again, the graph theory here is slightly different from graph algorithms, that there are a lot of properties. Again, I'll come to topic level breakdown here in a little while, right? So combinatorics, again, there are some years where there are no questions themselves, and that's because some of the combinatorics questions are typically asked in the context of probability. Right? So when there is something like that, we counted it in probability, right? Calculus, you typically get 1 or 2 marks. Again, there are a lot of topics in calculus, not too many, but this is something that we've been studying from a 12th class, right? Again, a bunch of rules. Most of engineering mathematics is all about mapping the problem to something that you have seen. GATE math is easy. Let's be realistic about it. Right? So the same thing, again, this is a whole breakdown. I've shared this sheet with you in the description section of this video. You can watch it. Let's go topic level breakdown. So we went through each of these years, almost the 12 question papers from 2019 to 2014 papers. So we said, okay, from graph properties, how many questions do you get? Again, if you look at graph theory, questions can come from anywhere, to be honest with you. Graph coloring is a very, very popular topic, but not every year you get a question from this. Again, in graph theory, you can get a question from any of these topics. Again, we have listed down the most important topics based on questions. For example, the Havel-Hakimi theorem, right? Very important theorem. Typically, you tend to get a very simple 1-mark question from Havel-Hakimi theorem, right? Similarly, maximum possible value of number of vertices. Handshaking theorem. We have discussed all of them, solved lots of problems. If you have to pick a few topics within the whole graph theory, these are the most important topics. Again, we tried to, again, you might say, okay, there are too many topics here, but the questions were from a wide spectrum of topics, right? So in graph theory, you can't say, okay, I'll just prepare graph properties and leave everything. It might so happen that you get questions only from graph coloring this time, right? Because there is no consistency in the pattern. So I think what the GATE examination paper setters or the professors who are setting the paper thought of is, let's try to cover a wide spectrum of problems from various years, right? In various years, they try to cover. Again, we have given a detailed types of questions that you typically encounter in practice, right? Again, you can go through this list a little later. The list is slightly lengthy. Again, in logic, you have first order logic and propositional logic. Again, so here consistently you get some marks from first order logic, some marks from propositional logic. Consistently you get it, right? So this is one topic where you can be, again, we have also listed down, again, we have also, so English to predicate logic statement. This is a very, very popular topic and vice versa. Very popular topic and also very tricky topic, right? And it's by choice that I mentioned that. It's by choice. Okay, and these questions are very, very important. So first order logic, propositional logic, if you prepare these two topics, you're guaranteed at least a few marks for sure. Set theory is all around the place. Okay, set theory and algebraic structures, right? So here you can get a question from anywhere, to be honest with you. There is no pattern. Look at this. I think because the syllabus of discrete mathematics and engineering mathematics is so wide, when the examiners are setting up the papers, they try to cover everything. Some years they can cover more topics, some years they can't cover. For example, look at the more recent years. Look at this 2018, 2019. Look at these years. Okay, look at these years. There is just 1 mark in here from these topics. That's like very, very low. Right? I hope they give more importance to these topics because they're fun topics, they're good topics, they're easy scoring topics. Right? Similarly, permutations, generating functions, recurrence relations. In the recent years, if you notice, in the recent years, there have been consistently at least some questions from here. But in the past, there were many years where there were no questions at all. Right? Again, we listed down the most popular topics from which questions come. But I'm not saying that you'll get only questions from here, because if you look at the pattern of marks, people are giving questions from everywhere. Then comes probability. Again, for probability also, it's very simple. You know, conditional probability, you know, Bayes theorem type of stuff. You get, again, in the recent past, more importance has been given to probability also, right? In the recent, look at the recent past. In the older days, less importance, but in the recent past, there is a lot of importance given to probability, especially to distribution functions and conditional probability and Bayes theorem, right? So this is, again, you get, these problems are simple, to be honest with you. Calculus, again, it's all around the place. You might get a couple of marks here and there. Look at this. Limits, again, in limits, mostly you get the L'Hopital's rule. Mostly. In continuity, it's Rolle's theorem or mean value theorem. Integration, mostly definite integrals, the Eilide theorem, all of those simple concepts. Linear algebra, the most important topic here is eigenvalues, eigenvectors. Look at this. Every year, consistently, there is at least 1, 2, or even 3 marks sometimes. If you look at all of these fields, look at the total marks in the last 12-year questions. The highest marks are for eigenvalues and eigenvectors as a topic, right? This is super duper important. It's extremely scoring. You just have to know the properties of eigenvalues and eigenvectors and you're good to go. It's that simple, to be honest with you, right? Again, linear algebra, calculus, a little bit of combinatorics is something that you've been doing from our 10th grade? Whole of 11th and 12th, we have solved some of this, maybe not advanced probability, but basics of probability, lots of counting, maybe not recurrence relations and generating functions, but certainly basic counting, permutations and combinations. We have been doing this for a very, very long time, right? In linear algebra, again, most of the times you just have to know the properties, you just have to map something to a problem that you have solved. If you do that, you're good to go. To be honest with you, that's the simplest advice for mathematics. And it's super duper scoring. It's fairly easy. If you prepare these topics, I understand that the syllabus is vast, but so is the mark allocation. You can easily get like 12 to 13 marks easily from discrete and engineering math. And the preparation that you're making for this will help you even in aptitude. Because if you're good at math problem solving, aptitude is nothing but your high school mathematics, right? It's mathematics that you learned in your 8th, 9th, 10th grade. That's all it is, right? So if you become good at it, some of the concepts like combinatorics can also be used in aptitude. So you can easily get about, including aptitude, discrete maths, engineering maths, you can easily get about 19 to 20 marks. Okay. So please don't neglect these subjects. Please get through this. Again, I've seen a lot of people who neglect this. So let me change the screen here. Sorry, let me change the screen here. So I have seen a lot of people who neglect engineering maths and they don't practice it enough, right? That is the biggest problem that I see, right? So please, for heaven's sake, don't. Again, for math, it is not, of course, you have to know all the major theorems, you have to know all the major formulae and how the formulae came into existence. But more important than that is solving the questions. For math, there is no escaping that fact. Nobody can do it. Even today, You teach me a new advanced area. Let's assume you teach me some advanced statistics. I can go through all the theory, I can read the whole textbook, but till the time I don't solve problems, I do not gain a good exposure to the subject, right? Sounds good. So somebody's saying, somebody's talking about similar sessions for CN and COA, we'll surely do that. Okay. So we have done it for a few subjects. Please go through the previous live sessions that we have done. You will find them. We'll surely do it for the future subjects also, where I'll try to cover every subject or every large subject or chunk, right? I think I did one for data structures algorithms. I think we did one for databases also. If I'm not wrong, I think I did for operating systems also. Okay, this time we're doing for discrete and engineering mathematics. So we'll try to cover everything for sure. And some people say, I'm very weak in calculus. Please go through the course videos. I think all of calculus is freely available even to our non-registered students. Calculus is extremely simple for GATE. Again, GATE math is not like your IIT JEE math. Please understand that. IIT JEE math is certainly harder than GATE math, especially calculus. It's extremely simple. You just have to know L'Hopital's rule, mean value theorem, a couple of how to do integration using isolate, simple principles, right? It's very, very easy to cover. Again, we try to keep the content small for math because I could spend like 100 hours just doing calculus, but we try to shrink it down so that you can comfortably finish and revise it, right? Sounds good. So somebody says, can we do a formula list which contains math formula? Good point. We'll try to do that. Again, I think we are writing the GATE notes based on our videos for whole of math also. I'm not sure if it is already put up. If it is put up, you'll find all the formulae there, but we'll try to do that. We'll certainly, I'll have somebody in our team work on that. Sounds good. Okay. So please add some problems on DMA previous year questions and counter frequency. Sure, we'll do that. No problem. So don't worry. So any topic in the course videos where you want more practice or more topics, more questions, do email us or call us on the phone number that you have on our website. We'll try to do the best we can, right? So, okay, sounds good. So what are the other questions that we have? Any questions that you have, we could spend about 5-10 minutes answering some of the questions, right? So somebody says, I'm not started, but I have strong concepts in core subjects. Can I score good marks? Yeah, you can. I know people whose foundations are so strong and whose problems, again, for GATE, you require two things. Fundamentally, you need core knowledge of computer science and all the subjects, and you need to have good problem solving skills. If you have that, you can crack GATE easily, to be honest with you. So if your problem solving skills are good, again, how do you know your problem solving skills are good? By solving previous year GATE questions, right? So that's what I would strongly recommend. So even, again, please don't just focus on your databases, computer network, computer organization. Please don't just focus on them. There are many other important subjects which are easy to score, like aptitude, right? Like discrete engineering mathematics, like data structures, algorithms, and C programming. These because we have been learning it from the BTech first year, we know these topics much better. So it should be easier for us to be able to cover them, right? That's what, and also to score marks here, right? So please don't just focus on your favorite databases, your favorite operating systems, or your favorite topic of compiler design or TOC. GATE is not about you being an expert in one subject. GATE is about breadth, right? That's super duper. I've seen a lot of people who are terrific with 2 or 3 system subjects like DB, let's say CN or OS. They're very good with it. They solve every question there. But they're so bad in mathematics that they mess up the whole math, they mess up whole of TOC, and they just never get a rank. So GATE is not about being an expert in one subject or a small subset of subjects. It's about being decent or good enough in all the subjects. Okay, that's a very important part of strategy. Please don't miss that. Okay, so somebody saying GATE revision and semester exam. I understand that, folks. Some of you who are students now, I do understand that you have that concern. Again, there may be some subjects which are in the overlap of GATE and your semester subjects. Try to finish that first. And come on, for most semester subject at most universities, I'm not generalizing here, most students at most universities for most semester based subjects, especially if you're in the 4th year, right? The subject should be trivial. You've been doing it for like what? For almost 7 semesters now, right? This is almost your final, this is your 7th semester or your last but one semester, right? You've been doing it for 6 semesters now. I know a lot of people just prepare a few days and crack it, right? So don't blame your semester exams for not focusing on GATE. Of course, I understand that 1 week or 10 days of semester exams, take a step back, put your GATE on hold, but then once you finish it, fully focus on GATE. And I strongly recommend you also talk to your faculty at universities or colleges. Tell them, talk to your HOD if required. Tell them, I'm seriously preparing for GATE. Could I get some additional time to focus on GATE after the semester exams are over? Okay. I know a lot of colleges and universities accommodate students like that. At least my university, my college, my engineering college, I told them clearly that I'm preparing for GATE. I finished my semester exam. They said, okay, we'll give you extra leave of 2 weeks. I got extra leave of 2 weeks without counting where I actually prepared for GATE, especially in my BTech third year, because in my days, we could take the GATE exam in third year or fourth year, right? So, so somebody says, how many times one should practice previous year questions? Please don't practice it multiple times. Your job is not to remember answers by heart. The way, I think I mentioned this multiple times, the strategy here is you ask a question, right? You ask a question, you try to solve a question. If you are stuck, make a note of what topic you got stuck. Go back, revise the topic, try to tackle the question. If you have done a silly mistake, make a note of it. Going back and solving the same problem, you might remember the problem by heart the second time you're doing it, especially in the last 3 months, right? Try to go through it once. Make a note of all the topics or questions that you're not able to solve. Go back to your notes, go back to the videos or go back to the textbook, read that concept, come back and solve the question. That's the strategy. All silly mistakes, make a note so that in your revision strategy, you're revising the silly mistakes that you've made so that you don't make them again, right? So is there any notes to prepare for topics? So I think I mentioned this in the last live session also. All the notes that we have for at Applied GATE course, we are putting it out for the benefit of everyone. Some subjects I think we have already uploaded. Others, we're just making notes at like full speed. We'll keep them uploaded. So the notes that you have that are made by our team based on our video content and which is fairly exhaustive is available for everyone. Please take it, use it, share it with your friends so that everybody can benefit from it, right? So somebody says, should I prepare 1 hour a day during semester exams? If you can accommodate that, great. If you can't, that's okay. 10 days, turn off your GATE, prepare for your exams, get good marks, move on. After that, forget about your exams, fully focus on GATE, right? So how do test series registered students get their doubts cleared? Just shoot us an email, right? We get so many emails on that. So in the test series, if there is a question that you do not understand, shoot an email to us. We'll clarify that. If required, we'll do a video answer and send it to you, right? Sounds good, folks. So again, somebody says, can I get a personalized revision schedule? The problem is different people work at different speeds, right? We have put out a schedule. Again, please look at the last Sunday's live session where we gave you a typical revision schedule, right? Again, this is what we recommend. Okay. Again, you will have to fine tune it to your needs, how many hours you're able to spend on weekdays, how many hours you're able to spend on weekends, etc. Right? So we gave a schedule for the benefit of everyone in the last live session. Just go there, you'll find the link, right? So somebody says how to get 90 marks. If you, I mean, it's good. You're aspiring high, but 90 marks is quite high, to be honest with you, right? Out of 100 marks, typically toppers are in the 80, maximum 85 bracket, right? So your job is, you're not competing against the 100 mark. You're competing against the students who are writing the exam. If you can get 90 marks, of course, to get 90 marks, you have to be terrific with almost every topic, right? Because I'm sure you will have at least 10-15 marks of hard questions across the whole syllabus, right? So you should be good, not just in every subject in tackling the easy and medium problems or medium hard problems, but you should be good even with tackling hard problems, and you should not do any silly mistakes. I don't think it's hard. It's easy to get 90 marks. I'm not saying it's impossible. I can completely see some terrific people who can score 90, but even if you score 80 to 85, you are probably a single digit ranker, right? Probably. Sounds good. Okay, folks. I think we've had a good session. Thanks a lot. Most importantly, I hope you'll use these resources, and please don't get demotivated. We all have to run together. In any way we can help you, we will help you. Please don't give up. We have gotten calls from students. That's why I'm addressing it in this session explicitly. Please don't give up, and let's do our job of preparing, working hard, going and writing the exam to the best of our ability. Okay, that's all has to be in our mind. Forget about results. Forget about all of that. Don't even think of giving up at this point. Don't say I'll prepare next year. That's bullshit. Okay, prepare this year, put in your best, and let's hope for the best. Okay, sounds good, folks. Thank you very much, and we'll do one more session hopefully on another subject or another set of subjects soon. See you then. Bye bye.